Now, before we get into this 50-page indictment, I want to shout out to Newburgh. Not only Newburgh, I want to shout out to the whole New York, all right? Bronx, Brooklyn, wherever the fuck you out. Shout out to the whole New York. New York's beautiful, especially Newburgh. Newburgh's a beautiful place, right? Besides the potholes. Now, besides the potholes and the crackheads on Ann Street, it's a beautiful place, right? Now, about every 2-6 years, the feds come. And it's not to fix the potholes, right? Not to fix the potholes, not to fix the crackheads on Ann Street. It's the sweep. It's the sweep. Like they a janitor and they just got the job through a temp agency, all right? Now look, December 1st, 2022, all right? They came to arrest 14 suspected members of the YGs. All right, now YGs is short for Young Gunners. Now, if you don't know the YGs, Young Gunners, you can call them Five Guys. They never put an O before they Y, right? Now, they allegedly went on a 2-year crime spree.
Well, new tonight, 14 gang members and associates from Newburgh and Poughkeepsie are facing racketeering, narcotics, and firearms offenses. The announcement comes from the U.S. Attorney's Office, and as News 12's Blaze Gomez has been reporting throughout the day, federal agents and police officers raided at least 4 locations in Newburgh last night.
Neighbors hit record in shock. Military-style tanks on Broadway and William Street. FBI confirmed they were in the city, and state police say they were there as part of a federal investigation.
Alright, now some of you may not be familiar with the YGs, or even how they started, or even how they formed, or where they came from. So I'm gonna break it down. This is how it all started. Now that's me in the blue. 2011. Now, I ain't gonna do no self-snitching, alright? Definitely not gonna do no self-snitching, but that's me, and that's allegedly a gang sign. Right?
One early crew hailing from the Cortland Ave area was known as YGFC, or the Young Gunners from Cortland. This crew was a subset of a much larger gang called the YGs, or Young Gunners. The YGs apparently started around 2003 and was primarily based in 2 project buildings, the Mott Haven houses and the Patterson houses, with another set later popping up in the Bronx's River Park Towers, or RPT projects, around 2010. And the leader of the YGs back in the day was a man named Jew Hef, real name Jutha Perez, an occasional rapper as well as a respected street figure. Sadly, however, Jew Hef was not able to keep his troops in the street united for long, apparently in the midst of a disagreement between high-ranking members, including a man named Melly Mel Baller, would see several members branching off and making their own crew. This would eventually see the Young Gunners from Cortland, or YGFC, breaking off from the YGs altogether and dropping the Y from their name, becoming the GFC, or God's Favorite Children. At a certain point, they became OGFC, or the Original Goons from Cortland, before eventually simplifying and settling on OGs, or Original Goons. So the OGs, with their beginnings in the Young Gunners from Cortland, naturally hail from Cortland Ave. This area has a reputation as being one of the most dangerous hoods in the Bronx, with 3 main housing projects generally affiliated with the OGs: Melrose Houses, Jackson Houses, and Morrisania, aka Vietnam. These were 3 notorious blocks known to the authorities for their gang activity, with all 3 buildings actually being targeted in a 2009 federal indictment named Operation Rotten Apple, which took 37 drug pushers off the streets from these very buildings, charging a total of 53 gang members after a year-long undercover operation. Melly Mel Baller, the OG's pioneer who I mentioned before, formerly of the YGs, would get himself convicted in a big case too. A case which was apparently made much easier by a great deal of self-snitching on his own personal Facebook profile. This was a landmark case where apparently a judge ruled that it's legal for a snitch to use evidence that was gained from snooping on friends-only Facebook posts. Apparently Melly Mel Baller had written posts on Facebook marked for friends only, where he would suggest that he buys drugs in quantities as large as 600 grams and claiming to have had over 100 people killed. Melly Mel would ultimately be convicted, receiving a sentence of life plus 420 months.
Now, allegedly, the crew of YGs in Newburgh did some of the same horrible things. They robbed, they killed, they attempted to kill, shootouts, broad daylight, allegedly ran an open-air drug market. Now, I don't know what that means. but I hope they paid their taxes. All right. Now, what I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna go over the full case because it still is an open case. Even though when the feds come, the shit's open and closed once the feds come. It might be some snitching going on. It might be some self-snitching going on. So what I want y'all to do in the comments is let me know what y'all think. All right. I need opinions. I'm gonna use this as an opinion discussion board. All right. Let me know if you think this is a case of self-snitching or if you think the feds did their work. All right.
Stop playing with these niggas.
About a series of gang-related FBI raids in the city of Newburgh on Wednesday that rounded up more than a dozen people allegedly behind a 2-year crime spree. 14 people with alleged ties to young gang are now under arrest for previously unsolved crimes in the cities of Newburgh and Poughkeepsie since 2020. This includes murder, attempted murder, assault, daytime shootouts, and narcotic sales. Federal authorities praised this operation as part of an effort to crack down on crime. Assistant Director in Charge Michael Driscoll responded Thursday to say, "This should be viewed as a warning to others. We will hold you accountable." Viewers reached out to us with videos of the raids, as you just saw there, at 4 areas in Newburgh. Some reported hearing gunshots and seeing those flash grenades. News 12's Blaze Gomez will have much more on this developing story tonight on the news at 5, including the list of names released by the feds of those who are now under arrest.